Perfect. Do that. This is the Geek News Central podcast. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from the New Media Production Studio. Tonight's show, the top stories are: work for Amazon, you may get fired by a computer. Or, do you need used computer parts? Tonight, we have the best sources. Facebook becomes a $1 trillion company. And Amazon is also cashing in on the resurgence of vinyl. I want to welcome you to episode 1536 of the Geek News Central podcast for Monday, June 28th. This show is sponsored by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support the show today by becoming an insider at geeknewscentral.com/insider. I want to give a warm welcome to all the new listeners of the show. I want to make sure that you take just a few minutes and get over to geeknewscentral.com. When you're on the website, subscribe to the show, subscribe to the newsletter. That way you'll stay in contact. Make sure that you get that newsletter subscription, because I will deliver the show notes of this show directly to your inbox immediately following the show. It's the best way to stay connected with this podcast. And of course, there's lots of other ways where you can provide feedback to the show. All you got to do is send me an email to geeknews@gmail.com. Of course, you can reach me on Twitter at Geek News. You can always join our chat room at geeknews.chat, our Discord server, or on Slack. All those places are great as well. Of course, I'm on Facebook. All the partner shows are linked at the top of geeknewscentral.com. Make sure you get over there. The new media show, the Gadget Professor, the GNC Week in Review. All great shows you want to be subscribed to here if you're listening to this podcast. Of course, this show is and has the longest running continuous sponsor of our podcast, and that's our good friends at GoDaddy.com. You can save lots of money at GoDaddy just by utilizing my promo codes. Once you get over there, check all the deals out, whether it be 30% off new product purchases, whether it be a $4.99.com on new or transferred domains for new customers, or the best 2 deals in the hosting world. $1 a month economy hosting for the first year with a free domain, or $1 a month managed WordPress hosting for the first year, again with a free domain. 2 very different products. The managed WordPress hosting makes sure that your website's always backed up. Security updates are kept to the server, to the WordPress is automatically updated. Your plugins are updated. It's really a great platform to be on. Of course, that economy hosting package allows you really to do all the above with WordPress, but not with a managed site. But you can also load all kinds of other modules to do e-commerce and such. Definitely check all these deals out. Again, we want you to get started in having a COVID-proof future business, whether it be e-commerce site, a blog, a podcast, consulting, you name it. You can do really anything you want. Comes with that free domain. So if you've got an idea you've been thinking about and want to launch, get over there, use one of my promo codes, and get your stuff started for $12 for that first year. It's really 94% saving on that purchase, okay? And, of course, we save you $3.50 on GoDaddy domain names as well. And we also have the free trial of GoDaddy Website Builder, your choice of personal business or business plus plans. Those are all a 1-month free trial. We definitely want to thank GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here at the podcast. We want you to see savings. Definitely check all that information out at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. So, there was no show on Thursday. Lots going on, obviously. I was down in Columbus at the Blueberry offices. Not offices. And it was great to have time with the team that's there in Columbus. We got a lot done. It's just like being in person, this interaction. We had some good meetings, some good planning stuff for some upcoming marketing stuff that we're getting ready to do. It really was a super, very full, productive week down there. The weather was absolutely beautiful. But I tell you, it's interesting. The businesses in and around our commercial building utterly and completely devastated, even right now. What I've determined is in the big city, at least in Columbus, if you have a business close to a residential area, you did okay. But if you have a business that was close to commercial building operations like mine, we have one whole floor of our building that is taken up by the state of Ohio, something to do with social services. On my floor, there's us and 3 or 4 other companies. Those offices were black, empty. No one was there. Third floor contains an unknown company that I'm not aware of who they are. They weren't there. So normally a parking lot would have 300 or 400 cars. There was like 10 cars in the parking lot. And all those people that would normally be to work or at work would obviously support those local restaurants and everything in the immediate. Now there's residential around that area, but they made their business on lunch. And every place I went into, there was no more buffets. It was only lunch menu. There's 1 or 2 people in there. It's bad. I said, how bad has it been? And they said, in the height of the lockdown, we weren't even getting takeout. So they've been hit really bad. But businesses closer to full-size residential areas obviously had a much better time of it. But the damage is not done. And down in Ohio, they're having the same problem as they're having here in Michigan. There was the hotel I stayed at, Doubletree. Bar was closed. Restaurant was closed. They were giving me points if I didn't have house cleaning come to the room because they were short on house cleaning staff. They said they had about 40 job openings for the hotel that they could not fill. And I thought that was astonishing. That was just one hotel property. They had 40 job openings and no one to work because that ongoing federal money is still in place and people are still getting extra dollars. They tried to shut it down in Ohio, but some judge just said it's unlawful. You can't do that. So I don't think it's going to improve anytime soon. People are desperate for workers here in Michigan and Ohio. I don't know about Indiana, but it amazes me. It really does amaze me that there's plenty of jobs, but everyone's saying, screw you. I don't want to work. So I don't think, I know what's going to happen until they take off that subsidy, that extra $300 on top of unemployment. People are not going to go to work. It's when they get their regular unemployment check minus the $300, maybe things will start to change. I don't know, but some businesses are desperate because things are starting to pick up. They're starting to ramp up, and I got an email from Hilton today that basically said from now until the end of the year, we're going to give you food vouchers because there's no more breakfast. Breakfast is closed. So we're going to give you food credit to spend in the hotel at their little, they have little places where you can buy sodas and stuff like that. We're going to give you a daily food credit anywhere from $20 to $35, depending on the property you're staying in. Imagine them giving you $35 in food credit every day. For me, that's gold. Because when I go down to Columbus next time, I will take that credit and be able to essentially almost probably feed myself for lunch and dinner based on food that I get from the hotel out of their little galley. So that's just, to me, just blows me away that they're doing that. And in different class hotels, there's a different amount. But I think the ones I normally stay at, I would get like $20 a day. And if you have a spouse or partner with you, they'll give you each $20 or each $35, depending on the class of hotel. So I was pretty shocked with that. But again, great to have time with the team. Got back here to Michigan Friday. Bad storms all weekend. It's crazy. Thunder and lightning. I think we've had like 4 inches of rain. Matter of fact, we had a storm warning this afternoon. Didn't get anything here in this town. Lots of tornado watches, a few warnings. And they say this is all the way through Thursday. So there's a band of states that have been getting this railroad of weather coming up through. But back here in the studio, I brought back a whole bunch of our older stand-up posters that we used to use at trade shows, but they're dated and have some of them have wrong branding and everything like that. But I think I bought back 6 stand-up banners. So I've been having fun with them. I've got 2 or 3 of them stretched out here in the hallway in one of the site studios, and one of them was broke, and I cut off the banner and I put a sign in the window. And so anyway, it was just kind of fun to, play around with some of this stuff that we have. And the studio is definitely branded up for blueberry.com in a big way. But yeah, today was typical Monday, simply crush. I've been working on multiple big client deals. Some of them, very easy to close. Some of them, multiple meetings. I've got television networks we're talking to. They're getting into podcasting. They're looking for hosts. It's an interesting time. And on occasion, I'm still talking to individual podcasters as well, but I usually have other team members do that. But some of my team members been on vacation, so I've been picking up some of the slack. But yeah, just slamming Monday. I even forgot I actually had lunch. I was starving at about 5, and I'm like, did I eat lunch today? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I did. I had a sandwich, and I forgot I'd had lunch. But anyway, that catches you up. That's what's going on here. And I got ready to do the show tonight, and I had to laugh because I left the MacBook at home. And it was I normally can split things between 2 machines. So tonight I'm juggling. So if I put something on the screen that you weren't supposed to see, I apologize. I'm unable to watch the chat room very closely. So if you're in the chat room and you say hello, I may not be able to respond to you just because I don't have enough screen bandwidth to look at that. But I want to welcome everyone on Twitter, on Twitch, on Facebook, of course, at live.geeknesscentral.com, all of that. So thank you for being here and being part of the audience tonight. So I do want to get into the stack of stuff that I have. And really the first thing up is apparently Amazon, for a certain worker class, is using bots. Let me see if I can get this set up right so that you guys can see it. Oh, that's totally screwed things up. And it never fails. All right, let me drag you over there and drag you over here and scroll you down. Did that work? There we go. Now it's centered up on the screen. So Amazon is using a algorithm with little human intervention to fire flex workers. Now, flex workers are the folks that do the 1 to 2 hour delivery via their vehicle. So if my son's paying attention, because I think he's been doing a little bit of this, all you have to do is not deliver a few packages. Your rating has to go down a little bit. You don't deliver the amount of stuff on time. You miss picking stuff up. You don't take a good selfie of yourself to prove it's you doing the deliveries. You're fired. The computer fires you. And it can fire you in the middle of the night. All kinds of craziness going on there. So be very aware that if you are a gig worker for Amazon, they can just chop you at a moment's notice, and the bot does it. Now, you can appeal, and then if the appeal doesn't stand, you can go to arbitration, but then you have to pay $200 for arbitration without no guarantee. So it's really, really a unique situation here where these flex workers are really getting screwed. Just because a computer says, oh, you didn't do the job you're supposed to do, you didn't have a high enough delivery rating, we're going to let you go. And that's what's really happening there. Next up, got a great article here. And you guys can notice, you see all these ads on the screen for those of you watching. I have got no ad blocker turned on in this computer, so we're seeing all the ads, which normally is suppressed on the Mac. But where to buy used computer parts? 5 great online resources. Now, the first 2, everyone knows. The first 2, number 1 is eBay. You can go buy used. I used to buy, matter of fact, I bought backup gear for my TriCaster 850. I bought a backup motherboard. I bought a backup graphics card. Some stuff was custom that I wouldn't be able to do, but I bought all kinds of used parts for some of my important machines that are completely out of warranty. And eBay was a place to get it. And I got stuff very, very inexpensive. I think the motherboard cost me $36 and the graphic card cost me like $40. I've got those in a box just in case someday I lose that computer. Now, the second place, believe it or not, is Amazon. You can buy used stuff at Amazon too, or out of date computer parts. You can go and put a certain model in, and you're actually going to find accessories that you may not have get access to anywhere else. Someone has got stuff, if it hasn't been thrown away by Amazon, that people have in inventory that they want to sell. Another place that I was not familiar with was called BMI Surplus. It offers a large inventory, ready to ship new and used computer parts. Their inventory is updated daily, and all of their used and new computer equipment is in stock, ready to ship worldwide. So they've got stuff that they basically buy stuff at 10 cents on the dollar, test it out, make sure it's good, and they sell tons and tons of used computer parts. And this is really, some of the machines today are more powerful than what you would ever need. And if you got an older machine, you just need to do an update. This is a great place to go. Of course, Alibaba, that's where you can find stuff that is left over from the Chinese. The Chinese have refurbished laptops. They've got they've got all kinds of stuff that you can find. And they have all categories. They have consumer electronics. And basically, how you get there is you go all categories, consumer electronics, and then click on computer hardware and software. And then there's a link on the page that says used. And you can buy gross volumes of stuff. You can buy 20 used HP laptops. It goes on and on and on. And so it's from companies that have acquired stuff and gotten, notebooks. You have to look at the models, of course, so that you know what you're getting. But you might be able to pick up 3 or 4 or 5 used laptops for cheap that may do exactly what you want. Of course, you got to check on the condition of them and so forth. But a lot of this stuff is sold by U.S. companies. They're looking to move some of that material overseas and so forth. So definitely check out Alibaba as well. And, of course, the fifth is dreamhardware.com. And if for some reason you still can't find the computer parts you're looking for, these folks may have it. This online shop specializes in discontinued, obsolete, legacy, and hard-to-find computer components. Now, sometimes you're going to pay a little bit of a premium for that because it's exactly that. It's hard to find. You can find motherboards, memory, CPUs, sound cards, video cards. And so anyway, great places to find used hardware. I'm a big, I like finding used hardware for stuff that I've got operational that I want to run. I've had a little problem with my PC that I bought from, they're right here in Fort Wayne. It'll come to me, but it was my audio editing computer, and I don't use it a lot anymore. But I had a little problem with that, and it was a video card. And I went online and was able to find a used video card for it and got it in, and it works just fine now. But that was a discontinued item. I think I paid $27 for it. Happy to do so. And the machine is perfectly fine for the use it's used for, and I'm able to get some more years of life out of it. All right, moving on next, Facebook. Facebook has become a $1 trillion company. $1 trillion. Now, there's some more news about Facebook today where basically said, there's no monopoly here. There's no antitrust issues. The judge has basically said, Department of Justice, you go back to the drawing board and figure out what else Facebook has done to make them a monopolist. And, but if anybody's a monopoly, Facebook is. But Facebook has joined the ranks of companies valued over $1 trillion. The company's market cap is sitting at $1.008 trillion. Some of the most notable Facebook divisions are the Facebook site itself, Messenger, as well as Instagram, WhatsApp, Oculus, and they're one of the few U.S. tech companies that passed the $1 trillion valuation. And so this is pretty impressive here. And again, the dismissal of the FTC cases, yes, a bunch of cases, to unwind Facebook's Instagram and WhatsApp acquisition, basically that the judge said, nope, the FCC did not offer enough evidence that the company is a monopoly. And I think we all can laugh at that in a big way. And yet Facebook will continue to be the monopoly that they are. And nothing will change here on that anytime soon. So the Facebook 500 team of lawyers, when you're a $1 trillion company, can do that. Amazon, on the other hand, is cashing in on the vinyl resurgence with Record of the Month Club. You guys remember the 8-track of the month club or the cassette tape track of the month club? I know many of you did that for many years. Remember that deal where you would get 6 LPs and you had to buy so many more, or you bought 6 8-tracks? You actually got 6 8-tracks for free, and then it was some deal that was around for years. A lot of us really built our music collection off those types of platforms. But Amazon's cashed in. For $25 a month, you get a classic album from the 60s and 70s every 30 days or so. You won't know what record you receive as part of the $25 plan until they show up at your door, but they'll be classics. Chosen by creators at Amazon Music, you'll receive vinyls from the likes of Pink Floyd, Aretha Franklin, and ABBA. I have lots of those albums already. I don't need them. But maybe some of you don't have any of that and you still want it out. Rolling Stone points out the subscription can be a decent value for the money. Amazon quietly rolled out the Vinyl of the Month Club plan over the last few months. In that time, subscribers have received the likes of Pink Lights a Wall, The Cash, London's Calling. Those cost $47 and $32.56 on Amazon, respectively, so you'll save a bit. But given the mystery bag format, there's no telling in advance where you'll get an album you actually want. Now, you can return a vinyl as long as it's sealed and unused. And if you're unfamiliar with the artist or album, it may be worth checking out on a streaming service before tearing the plastic wrapping off. You can also skip a month or cancel any time. Shipping included in the $25 monthly fee, and you don't need to be a Prime member to sign up. And I love vinyl. I'm a big vinyl fan. I have boxes of vinyl in the loft. Haven't played any in the recent weeks or time, but I still love vinyl. Every once in a while, I kick a vinyl and listen to it. So I don't know about you, but pretty cool. But I don't know, $25 a month. That's pretty steep. Astronomers discovered a new type of supernova that likely gave rise to the Crab Nebula. A third type of supernova was observed at a distance of 31 million light years from Earth in galaxy NGC 2146. Just when you think we know a lot about the stars above, something comes along and illuminates even more. Literally, in this case, thanks to the observation of a brand new type of supernova. Published in National Astronomy on Monday, a report from an international team of scientists confirms a previously unseen type of stellar explosion. Before the find, there were thought to be only 2 types of supernova: a core collapse supernova, which occurs when a massive star runs out of fuel and its core collapses into a black hole or neutron star, and a thermonuclear supernova, which occurs when a white dwarf star explodes. So since the 80s, there was speculation of another type may exist, and they referred to this as an electron capture supernova. This refers to a supernova arising from the dearth of fuel, which then had gravity force electrons into the core's atomic nuclei, thus collapsing on itself and making a big boom. But no radiation, which is kind of interesting. But anyway, this is big science today. So if you want to see Supernova 208D, all you got to do is watch the live version of this show. I got it up on the screen. You can see how big and powerful this thing is, how bright it is. And you just do not want to be in the middle of any of that mess. Let me just tell you that right now. Not that we could get there if we wanted to. But, oh, you know what? What we missed talking about was the Nothing UFO report that came out. Kirk, you missed that one. Let me see if I can find any commentary on this that's out there. So let me go here. UFO report. And I've got the Reader's Digest versions. And really, here's 8 takeaways from the government's UFO report. Number 1, our analysis of the data supports the construct that if and when individual UFO incidents are resolved, they will fall into one of 5 potential explanatory categories: airborne clutter, natural atmospheric phenomena, swamp gas, USG or U.S. industry development programs, foreign adversary programs, and a catch-all other bin. So, bin, other. Okay, so, all right, let's break this down. Airborne clutter. Something in the sky that was there, wasn't supposed to be there. Natural atmospheric phenomenon. Yes, swamp gas. U.S. government or U.S. industry developmental programs. In other words, classified stuff that no one's going to talk about. Foreign adversary systems. Yes, classified foreign adversary systems. Now, let me just say this. UFOs are not foreign adversary systems. It's the other stuff. Bin. After careful consideration of this information, the UAPTF focused on reports that were largely involved UAP, they call it UAP, UFO, largely witnessed firsthand by military aviators, and that were collected from systems we consider to be reliable. Systems. Systems. In other words, classified military systems. Number 3, no standardized reporting mechanism exists until the Navy established one in March of 2019. The Air Force subsequently adopted that mechanism in November 2020, but it remains limited to U.S. government sightings. Amazing. There was no formal way within the government to record UFO sightings until the Navy started one in 2019. How is that? This reveals how resistant the government has been to acknowledging UFOs and how many sightings were almost certainly missed. Now, there were 144 reports originated from U.S. government sources. Of those, 80 reports involved observation with multiple sensors: infrared, radar, visual. This line establishes the universe that the task force examined. There were instances between 2004 and 2021, and more than half were confirmed by multiple sensors. Number 5, narratives from aviators in the operational community and analysts from the military and intelligence community describe disparagement associated with observing UFOs, reporting it, or attempting discussing it with colleagues. Oh, believe me, they didn't want to. It was people were disparaged and talked down upon, thought you were crazy. All the effects of these stigmas have lessened as senior members of the scientific, policy, military, and intelligence communities engage on the topic seriously. Reputational risks may keep many observers silent, complicating the scientific pursuit of the topic. You just don't be in the military and say you saw a UFO unless you had about 20 other people to see it with you. Important stuff here. This is an acknowledgement that the number of reports of UFOs may have been kept artificially low because of the stigma. And according to the task force, has lessened somewhat. In 18 incidents described in 21 reports, observers reported unusual UFO movement. They call it UAP. I'm going to call it UFO for what it is. movement patterns, or flight characteristics. Some UFOs appear to remain stationary in winds aloft, move against the wind, maneuver abruptly, or move at a considerable speed without discernible means of propulsion. In a small number of cases, military aircraft system processed radio frequency associated with the UFO sightings. Oh, would I like to see that? So what does that mean? Let me read that again. There's something here. In a small number of cases, military aircraft systems process radio frequency energy associated with UFO sightings. So what is RF energy? Radio transmissions, radar transmissions. Something that could have been a varying in IR intensity. Oh, what the hell is this? Had a big pop-up come on my screen. Looked like some sort of malware stuff. So let me tell you, that's a big deal. What did they detect? Please tell. Please tell. I want to hear what they collected. What frequency did they transmit on? What did the signal look like? Did they see telemetry? Did they see pulse data? Did they see Doppler change? What did they see? I want to know. That will probably never be shared. That's what I want to know. I want to know what the RF energy associated with those UFO sightings were. That's juicy. I'm just going to say it, folks. That's juicy shit. Really juicy. That made this hair stand up on the back of my neck, and I don't have much hair right now. With the exception of the one instance where we determined with high confidence that the reported UFO was airborne clutter, specifically a deflating balloon, we currently lack, listen to this, sufficient information in our data set to attribute incidents to specific explanations. So one time the thing that people thought was a UFO was a deflating balloon, but all other times, the military and intelligence community can't explain what the heck the UFO actually was. So how many things? 144 incidents, and only one incident they could tell what it was? Do you guys remember I was in the Navy for 25 years? I had a pretty cool job. I had access to a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of advanced stuff, a lot of stuff I can never talk about, but really cool stuff. A lot of cool information. There's a reason. There is a reason why 143 of the incidents cannot be identified. Because if they could, it wouldn't be in this report. It wouldn't be in this report. It would be classified, and the details of what the Russians or the Iranians or whoever had, it would not be in this report. Because if they could identify it, it would not be in the list. They can break it down by 5 categories, but guess what? If they can't really figure anything out of 143 of them, this is a big deal. Although most of the UFO described in our data set probably remains unidentified due to limited data or challenges to collection, processing, or analysis, we may require additional scientific knowledge to successfully collect on and analyze and characterize some of them. So, listen to this. Listen to this statement again. We may require additional scientific knowledge to successfully collect on, analyze, and characterize some of them. There are some pretty smart people at national labs. Sandia National Labs, Los Alamos National Lab. Let's just name a few. People that have big brains, IQs off the chart. People that have literally built rockets. There's some very smart people in RF energy and data collection. There is DARPA. We have some really, I'm going to tell you, we have some really smart people doing some really cool things. And there's some really highly classified things that do some really cool things, but none of that would be in this report because they would know what it is. It's not necessarily a big nothing, but it's a big something in that we really don't know any more information now than we did, except we know that the U.S. government doesn't know what the heck any of this was. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is something that can concern you, or you maybe don't care. But I contend that, and I need to read this. I need to read this assessment that's available. Go through it. But I contend that there's a couple of things. I'm going to just science fiction often predicts the truth. Number one, we're either an ant farm, okay? And they're looking to see what we do, and we're some grand social experiment. Or two, we're truly a farm, and we're just basically getting built up to the point where we can be harvested. That's number two. Number three, they could be waiting until we get ready to blow ourselves up to intervene. Or number four, which I think is the most likely. After all, do aliens have to come hundreds of light years away to come and eat us? I don't think so. If they can come this far, they can make food. So I don't think we're on anyone's dinner plate. But what I do think is we're too stupid yet. We're too stupid to enter the universe community, if there is one, the global galactic community. I think we have to get beyond, beyond the state we are technology-wise to be invited to the club. That's where I really think we are. But I think they're taking a lot of interest in us and watching the dumb antics we do, like shooting at each other and, looking at the technology of the military aircraft, looking at our space program. I have a benchmark that I have set personally as a time where we potentially, if that scenario is true, is where we potentially, and I probably won't live to see it, potentially be invited. I think it's when we are successful in colonizing another planet. When we can go to Mars and we can successfully stay there and build, I think that might be the time. Or we have to reach some sort of orbital speed, or have some sort, because they got unlimited energy. If they're coming in here and operating, willy-nilly, we're just, they're just laughing at us, and, we're a big science examination. So that's where I really kind of think we're at this point. And I don't know. What say you? Where are you at on this analysis? I've seen two UFOs. I've seen it. I've seen two with my own eyes. One as a child, one when I was active duty military. When I was active duty military, I saw it with 20 of my best friends. Told the story here on this show a number of times. So I have no doubt. What I saw when I was 13 years old exceeds any aerial technology that we have today. When I was 13, that was 40 plus years ago. When I was a grown adult, post 9/11, flying combat missions. I and 20 of my best friends saw something that does not and will not and cannot be by some foreign government, cannot be U.S. technology, cannot be identified. And just make you scratch your head and say, what the hell was that? I wasn't abducted, wasn't brainwashed. At 13 years old, I had this shit scared out of me. Absolute scared me to death. It truly traumatized me. I couldn't look out the window in the dark for a long time from what I saw. I was scared that an alien was going to be outside my window. I'm not kidding you. But at the same time, that was when the time there was big stories about abductions. There was all kinds of crazy stories about I got abducted and was, probed, taken into a spaceship. In the 70s and 80s, there was a plethora of books about being abducted. People that swore that they were sucked up into a flying saucer and they were probed. And there's all kinds of crazy stories. You don't hear about them now, but you should have read some of the books. And I read them all back in those days and probably scared the living hell out of myself because of that and combined what myself and my family saw. Knowing what I know now, what I saw when I was 13, there was no plausible explanation of any U.S. military hardware that could perform the maneuver and acceleration and speed to leave the circuit. Impossible. Are aliens here? I'm convinced. Everything in okay, let's move on. What say you? What say you? My audience, my family of listeners, geeknews@gmail.com. geeknews@gmail.com. All right, everything else at MWC 2121 so far. Great list on make use. This thing is killing me here. Let me slide this up. Makeuseof.com. So, just some announcements. Lenovo announced new Android tablets. They announced Smart Clock 2, whatever that is. Qualcomm announced Snapdragon 888. So, just a list of a few things that were announced at Mobile World. Next up, 13 ways to use your Mac and iPhone together with Apple's continuity. And this latest one here I love is a copy and paste content with Universal Clipboard. So I can copy something in my iPhone and I can paste it in my MacBook. It's lovely. That is a feature I like a lot. Resume tasks with handoff. Haven't used that one. AirDrop. And most iPhone users have used AirDrop before. Play music, movies, and TV shows across devices. I've done that. Thrown something from my iPhone to my Apple TV. Sharing an internet connection. That's always good to do. You can do it with Bluetooth or with your mic or your Wi-Fi bridge. And I don't use Safari, so I don't share and close Safari tabs across machines. Of course, you can unlock your Mac using your phone, your fingerprint, proximity with your Apple Watch. You can type on your iPhone using your Mac's keyboard. I've never done that. That's a software called Type E2. That's cool. Didn't even know that existed. Type E2. Not that I want to type on my iPhone with the keyboard, but I guess it could come in handy at times. So anyway, link will be up in the show notes. This is, again, makeuseof.com. You definitely want to check it out. CNET's running articles that Apple says these products need to stay a safe distance away from medical devices. Says it's possible for magnets and electromagnetic fields to interfere with pacemakers and other medical devices when in close contact. And it's an extensive list. AirPods, Apple Watch, HomePod, iPad, iPad Mini, Air Pro, smart covers, iPad Smart Keyboard, Magic Keyboard, iPhone 12 models, MagSafe accessories, Mac Mini, Mac Pro, MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, iMac, Apple Pro, Beats Flex, Beat X, Power Beats Pro, your Beats 3. So just keep all Apple products away from your medical devices, including your pacemakers. Say, what did they say, 6 inches? 12 inches. Keep 12 inches away. How many times have you rubbed your phone on your shirt to clean off the screen? Those of you with pacemakers, please don't do that. Do it on your pants leg. 12 inches is the rule. Keep them. That means from your ear to your pacemaker, that could be closer than 12 inches. What are you to do? Please, please, please read this article. If you have a family member with a medical device, please, please, please link to this. Share this with them. We don't want anyone having a shutdown because of a mobile device. Great article here. And you just never, volunteer work. People are always looking for volunteers. Organizations, nonprofits, etc. Habitats for Humanity. All kinds of folks are looking for volunteers. But there's some websites to find volunteer work and opportunities. Some of you have to do volunteer work part of your college curriculum and so forth. Or you've got in trouble with the law and have to do some volunteer work. Sometimes they give you the list of where you go there. But Volunteer Match, Engage, Just Serve, United Way, Do Something, Habitat for Humanity. I mentioned that already. Give Pulse, and I didn't even read this before. AARP, Create the Good, Feeding America, American Red Cross, all lots of opportunities. Go find a volunteer opportunity if you have some extra time on your hands. It makes you feel better. Over on Lifehacker, what's new on Parliament Plus in July 2021? Is it worth signing up? So what's coming? 28 days later, 28 weeks later, Bitter Harvest, Blue Sky, Caveman, Cinema Paradiso, Cliffhanger. There's a whole list of stuff that's coming in July. I can't go through them all. So definitely check out this list. If you're not on Paramount Plus, you see what movies are available, make you decide whether you want to do a free trial if you want to start. If you're part of a school administration or you have someone that works in a library, let them know they can apply for the FCC Broadband Relief Fund starting tomorrow. The FCC Emergency Connectivity Fund aims to help schools and libraries close the digital divide in homework gap. And I tell you, schools need to apply for this. There's lots of students that do not have hotspots. This money will provide laptops, tablets, Wi-Fi hotspots, broadband connections to help students and teachers basically get online, be able to get internet access. And no, I haven't heard from Elon Musk and Starlink yet, even though I've been tweeting him every few days. Of course, he doesn't read the tweets. I'd be lucky if I get to see it. Samsung's next Galaxy Watch, and get this. Let me back up. My CIO, Angelo, looked up Starlink in Columbus. He lives in the city limits. He can order his gear right now. He was all excited. I'm like, you've got 3 internet service provider opportunities. Why do you want to get a Starlink? And I'm like, I'm here in rural America, and once again, people in cities are getting access to Starlink before those of us in the country need it. Come on, Elon. Quit messing this up. Samsung's next Galaxy Watch coming this summer has a whole new Google look. The first look at the One UI watch interface, which will also arrive on other watches this fall. So a little bit of a sneak peek. This will all be in the show notes for you to check out. It looks like the Android watch from Samsung. They didn't show you styles. They just showed you some screens. So it looks a lot different than the Apple Watch. Let me tell you that right now. So link will be up in the show notes. The 7 most durable portable hard drives and SSD. I'm going to tell you what I like the best in this list, and it's real simple. They got the OWC Envoy Pro X Thunderbolt. They got the CallDigit Tough Nano. They got the LaCie Rugged SSD. They got the SanDisk Extreme Pro. They got the Silicon Power Armor A30. I like the LaCie Rugged SSD. I don't know how it compares in price to the rest of these, but if you can handle 500 gigabits, this is the external drive I carry with me everywhere. The LaCie Rugged SSD. Link is in the show notes. Definitely check it out if you're in the market for something like that. Okay, report mobile gaming revenue grew to nearly $45 billion in the first half of 2021. Is that crazy? $45 billion being spent in mobile gaming. Mobile gaming. Not PC gaming, mobile gaming. It's crazy. Most of the top downloads include casual games, but Call of Duty, Mobile and PUBG Mobile made the list as well. Insane. $45 billion. I don't do any gaming. Wow. Chronic pain is a big issue for a lot of people. And chronic pain management, because doctors are no longer giving pain pills, is an issue. Matter of fact, there's a lot of action going on right now to try to get the U.S. government to quit punishing doctors that are giving pain pills to people that have chronic pain. And I know some of you are suffering out there, and it's bad news. I know you might be trying alternatives like, like smoking weed or whatever it is. But these apps will help you manage chronic pain, and some of these you can tie in and report to your doctor. There's Pathways Pain Relief. It's an app. There's Wave, another app. There is Curable. Sometimes chronic pain is not curable. Care Clinic. But if you're having, chronic pain, maybe these apps will help you manage your pain. Sometimes there's no thinking. You just can't manage pain. People don't understand it until you're in chronic pain and the doctor tells you, take an aspirin because I can't help you, or eat Tylenol until your liver fails. It's a bad situation out there because of all the abuse of opioids. It really, really is. Doctors are being punished for giving pain pills. They give you 3 when you need 30. And you're not an abuser. You truly are, and you need, 12 refills. But that doesn't happen anymore. Why do you think the illicit drug market is so big? But chronic pain people are buying drugs off the street because they can't get them from a doctor. Tesla issued recalls of 250,000 cars in China over assisted driving acceleration. The Model 3 and Y recalls will take place entirely remote via a software update. Oh, so they don't have to bring it in anymore. It's an over-the-air software update as part of the recall. So a software update to cars in China. More car news. Volkswagen will go all-electric in Europe by 2035, the U.S. to follow shortly thereafter. Ready or not, EVs are coming a big way from the VW brand. There's some new Porsche electric vehicles out there that are, oh my God, amazing, with an oh my God, amazing price. Volvo South Carolina factory will exclusively build electric cars. The firm's U.S. factory just opened 3 years ago, but it's already set to pivot to EVs. So they're going to be all electric as part of a makeover. The plant will transition to build solely electric vehicles with the switch. Volvo plans to embrace a build where you sell mentality, according to the report, as it gears up to make the plant a hub for U.S. electric vehicle production. It's good. Keep those American workers employed. TCL's 20 Pro 5G. Yes, it's a mobile phone. Listen to this. TCL is a company that maybe many of you are not familiar with. They sell TVs at a great price. TCL's 20 Pro 5G will offer a big screen and wireless charging for $499. Goes on sale in the United States today alongside 2 more budget models. This is a big phone for $499. You got to be willing to go Droid, though. My son broke his phone, and he is, I told him, I said, consider going to Android. And he's just so resistant to it. I'm serious. Android right now is rocking. There's no reason, if you're on a budget, to buy an iPhone. The Android phones, a lot of great phones out there, great functionality, same user experience as the Apple, and plus the voice to text and voice recognition is a lot better on Android by far. Siri is a stupid idiot. It doesn't work great. It sucks. Android voice is better by far. Speaking of Apple, Apple wants to replace your wallet with the Apple Watch. Never going to do that. As part of the Watch OS 8 software update available as a public beta, the Apple Watch will be able to present digital ID cards, which will eventually include licenses and unlock everything from your front door to your car. I wore my Apple Watch to work this morning. I took it off because I got tired of wearing the band. Some of you are in the same situation. Get tired of wearing your phone. I mean, not wearing your phone, wearing your watch. I do. Maybe it's because I'm on my laptop all day. That's the question. So we got some people that are on Facebook. I just wanted to check comments. You guys are not saying anything. Make sure you say hello. Check in. Say hi. Don't be shy. Google will now warn users about unreliable search results. What is this? The Google search algorithm works in a way that attempts to bring the most relevant websites based on the search to the front page. Usually your best bet for what you're looking for is on the first page. Not always. And the further back you go, generally you start to find less reliable solutions. Not always. However, since Google doesn't actually create the content, how reliable the sources are depends on what's available. That is something Google wants to warn users about, saying that according to Google, while Google search will always be there with the most useful results, we can provide sometimes the reliable information you search for just isn't online yet. That's interesting how they worded that. This can be particularly true for breaking news or emerging topics when the information is published first may not be the most reliable. So Google indexes websites very quickly. I use a system called WeSubPub. It's really called WeSubPub now. That basically notifies Google anytime a new article is posted on my website. Bam, it hits them and says, hey, I got new content. Come over here and index it. And they do. Literally seconds later, they index the page. And I'm put into their logo. So hopefully I'll always be a reliable source. Netflix is letting Android users watch partial downloaded shows. We'll start testing the feature for iOS in the coming months. So once again, Android leads the way on Netflix. So that's cool. On a slow connection, got a partial download. You can start watching it while the thing continues to download. Very, very cool. Isaac Asimov's Foundation lands on Apple TV Plus September 24th. Take a peek at the latest action-packed trailer for the sci-fi saga. Well, I want to definitely check this out, but I'm not familiar with this. Foundation is an adaptation of Isaac Asimov's series of sci-fi novels. Oh, that's going to be cool. The company reveals another teaser trailer for Foundation, which stars Jared Harris as the leader of a group of exiles who predict the end of the Galactic Empire. The group embarks on a journey to restore civilization by establishing the Foundation. Apple is reducing the free TV trial it offers customers to buy devices from a year to 3 months. So this sounds like a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. YouTube Theater will be a new 6,000-seat live entertainment arena in California. This 3-story complex will be located inside the Hollywood Park development in Inglewood. So what is this about? YouTube was forced to transition from live to virtual events earlier this year when it shuttered its studio spaces for creators and musicians. Just 4 months later, with pandemic subsiding, the Google-owned video platform is now embracing live entertainment like never before. YouTube has partnered with Hollywood Park, a new 300-acre mega development in Inglewood, California, to host a massive live venue. The YouTube Theater will be a 3-story, 6,000-seat arena for performances that range from traditional concerts to the type of events you'd associate with its namesake. Think esports and creator and community shows from the site's dedicated contingent of gamers and vloggers. Maybe the Los Angeles Rams, the Los Angeles Chargers, whose 70,000 feet SoFi Stadium is in the same complex, will also drop in. Naturally, all these gigs, meetups, and tourneys will feed back into the company's main platform, creating fodder for live stream and on-demand content. You think they'll have me in there to do a live Geek News Central? I think that would be awesome. Maybe we'd fill 50 seats. 60,000. Oh, I'm hearing thunder. If I disappear off live, I apologize. I have no control of the internet. Heineken's made a cute but garish automatic beer cooler that follows you around. It will follow you around while carrying only 12 cans of beer. What blasphemy is that? If you're going to have a cooler that's going to follow me around, it better have more than 12 cans of beer in it. A can, not bottles. Who drinks Heineken out of a can? That's sacrilege. If it holds 12 ice cold Heine's in the bottle, that might be cool. But it's a beer outdoor transporter is what it's called. It must be admitted. It's pretty cool. Will follow its owner around. How much does that bad boy cost? Let me look. They say the only way you can get yourself one is by entering the competition Heineken plans to hold on July 1st. So if you're a Heineken fan, keep an eye on the Heineken site. What the heck is going on? I'm hearing boom, 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 boom. It's crazy. Big rumble. The storms have been having come through have not been lightning and thunder. It's just been rain. YouTube TV unveils Dolby Digital support and premium add-on with 4K, offline downloads, and unlimited streams. YouTube TV, not YouTube. So if you have YouTube TV, you get Dolby Digital support, premium add-ons with 4K. How much more is this going to cost? The new add-on costs $19.99 a month on top of probably what you're already paying. That's crazy. Do you have the... See, remember, the YouTube TV increased prices are $49 to $64.99. So if you want this 4K, it's another $19 on top of the $64.99. Are they being slick? Do you really need 4K? Do you really need Dolby? Is it worth that much? Nickel and dime this, folks. Microsoft is releasing Windows 11 Preview, available to download now. The next version of Windows is available for testing. And it looks quite pretty. Some of the pages are very, 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 very pretty. It kind of... File Explorer's got a nice makeover. It's got a nice information sidebar. There's personalization things. Yeah. How many of you are going to go grab the preview? I know some of you are hardcore Microsoft users. If you're using it, let me know what you think, okay? Yes, the show's running long today. I had to really go off on talking about UFOs. Senator Wyden is proposing a law to safeguard journalist data from the government. This comes months after the DOJ admitted to seizing records from reporters. Senator Wyden proposed a bill called the Protect Reporters from Excessive State Suppression Act that would protect journalist data records from being seized by the government. This comes several months after the DOJ admitted it acquired phone and email records from reporters at the Washington Post, CNN, New York Times in order to identify sources of classified information. So we'll see where that one goes. A lot of legislation is stalled right now. Of course, the article about the judge dismissing the FTC's initial antitrust complaint against Facebook. But they're saying the antitrust battle is not over. They've got 30 days to basically file an amended complaint. He also threw out the 48 states that actually sued as well and territories. So we'll see what happens with the FTC, but Facebook says it was pleased with the judge's decision. We are pleased that today's decision recognized the defects in the government's complaint filed against Facebook. We compete fairly every day to earn people's time and attention. We continue to deliver great products for the people and businesses that uses our spying services. There must be a big banger of a storm outside. It's booming here. Lenovo announces 5 new Android tablets at MWC. I'll have that link in the show notes. Also, if you're looking forward to Windows 11, upgrades for Windows 10 PCs won't happen until 2022. So if you're desperate for a new Windows 11 PC, the quickest path will be to purchase a new Windows 11 PC this fall. Isn't that something? Isn't that just a little naughty trick here by... Wow. Microsoft said publicly that Windows 11 will release to general availability before the end of 2021. And a Microsoft tweet and now explains Windows 11 upgrades will happen for Windows 10 PCs sometimes in 2022, implying that PCs with Windows 11 will ship first. Wow. Making you wait to upgrade. And of course, they're hinting at October 20th may be a Windows 11 day. LG TVs will soon gain dedicated support for Facebook's Portal TV. Setup will be easier, and you'll be able to control calls with LG's Magic Remote. Facebook's webcam, like Portal TV, mounts on an existing TV set to provide an immersive video calling experience on apps like Messenger and Zoom, provided you're willing to allow the social network into your living room. Now LG has made it easier to install one in its web OS-powered TVs with a new firmware update. So, interesting. They're already in our home. Oh, don't need that. Don't need that. I do need that. I'm at the end. But hold on. Don't leave. Actually, I shouldn't have closed that window because I've got reopen close tab. Is that? Nope. Let me do it again. Reopen close tab. There we go. Let me go to GNC comments. We do have comments today. You all heeded the call to action. Darren said, "Hey, Todd, the attached screenshot is from my phone. Samsung 10 Note 10 Plus on Verizon on the latest release of Android 11. I'm in the Greenville, South Carolina area. As you see, the COVID-19 tracking is disabled default, and I don't have any COVID apps installed. The link below is where I'm sent. If I click on the info question mark. So it says on his phone, turn on COVID-19 exposure, add on. So it basically starts out by asking him to select a region. So his phone doesn't, it's in the phone, but he doesn't turn on. I got an email from Peter. He says, possible story straight out of the Jetsons. Aviation flies into the future with bold new eco-friendly vertical takeoff and landing aircraft for passengers, patients, and cargo. And so Exariant announces joint venture with XTI developer the world's fastest long-range commercial VTOL. XTI's Revolution hybrid electric Trifan 600 aircraft with pre-sales now top $1.3 billion. So where is this company? It's out of Boca Raton, Florida. Don't know how much this thing's going to cost. So how are they going to get FAA approval on these things? I don't know. But I'll try to link this in the show notes for you. Let me go back. So, Peter, thank you for that. Richard says, hey, Todd, I worked at Amazon as a picker for 8 months when I first moved to Southern Ohio to Lexington, Kentucky. I walked 15 to 18 miles per 10-hour day and climbed roughly 30 flights of stairs over the same 10 hours. And let me tell you, if you slow down, they're right on your tail, riding you up. Literally, Amazon is the worst job and company I ever worked for in my 41 years. Woo! Richard's a longtime listener of the show. Thank you for sending that, Richard. I know you got yourself a good job right now. So congratulations on that. Your advice to someone that mentioned on the podcast reminded me. And basically, let me see if I can read this. And I can show it on the screen here. IT support never really changes. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Have you tried reconfiguring the primary power coupling? It will have to be a complete shutdown where we turn it off and effect a wipe of the Yamato log. This is a thing from Star Wars, including every subsequent event since we downloaded it. It'll then be to reload all the ship's programs from the protected archives in the main core. Again, have you tried turning it off and on again? And finally, have you tried turning it on and off and then on again? So that is the crux of IT support often. Not always, but yes, I get you, Rob. Rob also sent me some links to some itch cream, and I will admit, the one that you sent here, Rob, is the best. For those of you that have any itches, Eucerin, EEUCERIN, absolutely, unequivocally the best. In addition to Cortisone 10. Absolutely the best. And he linked me to another one I wasn't familiar with called Solorocane First Aid Lidocaine Spray. I thought that was just for pain relief for like sunburns and that kind of stuff. So, but that gave me an idea. I may try that out. But anyway, thanks, Richard, for sending that. But I agree. The Eucerin, EUCERIN, absolutely the best, along with the again the cortisone 10. Brad, okay, I think we talked about on the last show. I'll leave that one off. And Near, I did send email off to GoDaddy for you. So hopefully they'll come back to that. So anyway, thanks everyone here. Geeknews@gmail.com is the email address. Geeknews@gmail.com. @GeekNews is the Twitter account. Did you have comments about today's show? You have to have a comment about the UFO thing. Come on now. Drop me an email. Let me know what your theory is. Do you think the government is just still covering stuff up, or do you think they're in cahoots with the aliens? Is that where our latest technology has come, as it's been expected, as portrayed by the 4th of July? Yes, remember that movie? Boom. Independence Day, I think that's actually what it was, the movie name. So I want to hear from you, and tell me what you think about the show. Otherwise, I'm going to get us out of here. Thanks, everyone, for watching. I know we had some people on Facebook that appeared to be shy and weren't leaving a comment. Hey, Gary was there. Hey, Gary, thanks for being on. What's the scuttlebutt around there, Gary, on UFOs? But everyone, thanks for watching the show. And some of you have taken note of my Blueberry logo back there and want to know where you can get it. I'm going to attempt to find out the seller's information so I can share that on the show. Some of you want it for your own podcast as well. All right, everyone, take care. We'll see you next time. We'll be back here Thursday for a regular edition of the Geek News Central podcast. It's been my pleasure to bring you a show today. And if I reconfigured everything correctly, when I click on this button, the logo will show up for those of you watching the show, and we'll be out of here. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Be back Thursday for a regular scheduled show. Be safe. Take care of your family, your dogs, your pets, and all of the above. So we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.